Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and wow, got another fantastic show coming your way. And I got one of my most favorite people and guests in the world who've been on the show quite a few times and always bring a wealth of knowledge and educating our listeners and viewers and on certain different type of topics. And today we got a topic that I tell you, I think everybody need to tune in, pay attention, because it deals with stress management, pre-stress management, and but we're gonna get to that in a few minutes. But I gotta always bring on my great executive producer and co-host, and the person that really does all the work with the JC Cooley Foundation and also the It's Your Life radio show. That would be no other than Dr. Michelle Denise Cooley. How are you doing, Doc?
I am fine. How are you?
I am absolutely wonderful just to have Dr. Mantell back on again. I get excited every time we have him on the show.
Hey, I was supposed to introduce him to the audience. You ruined it.
Well, we're gonna have to share this. It slipped. It slipped out that time. But it just absolutely wonderful time every time that we have this great doctor on the show. And I tell you, Dr. Cooley, I cannot wait to get this thing started. So, can you do your magic and introduce the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this great doctor?
Oh, most definitely. Like we stated, we've had this amazing guest on the show multiple times, so we are really excited. So the title of the show is "Why Treat What We Can Prevent: Stress Pre-Management." So the purpose is getting to know the background of cognitive behavioral coach, keynote speaker, author, and advisor, Dr. Michael Mantell. So, he has an extensive biography, but I'm just going to highlight a couple of things. So he's been helping people of all ages and backgrounds disturb themselves less. He's been doing this for nearly 50 years, and he's creating lasting positive change with his compassion-based rationale, emotive behavior coaching methods. He earned his Ph.D. at the University of Pennsylvania after completing his MS degree in clinical psychology at Hahnemann Medical College. He has served as chief psychologist for Children's Hospital of San Diego, chief psychologist for the San Diego Police Department, chief behavior science consultant for the American Council on Exercise, co-founder, chief science officer of Plus Size Certified Inc., and many, many more. He is a guest lecturer at the Point Loma Nazarene University's Integrative Wellness Program. And he's also a member of the Science Advisory Council of the International Council on Active Aging and a longtime member of SAG-AFTRA since 1981. And he has led intensive programs for the American Society of Hematology on physician wellness and burnout, and presents a twice-monthly Optimal Living series for the same organization. He has written to date nearly 80, probably more now, columns for Ariana Huffington's Thrive Global on emotional education through COVID-19. He has written 4 books, and I'm sure more are coming. And we would like to welcome back to the show Dr. Michael Mantell.
How you doing, sir? It's always a pleasure having you on. Just always a pleasure having you on. Just chatting with you and educating our listeners and our viewers. So, welcome back to the show, Doc. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much, Doctors Cooley. I can't say Dr. Cooley's, but Doctors Cooley. And I just want to offer tremendous appreciation for being here again. I feel like I'm a regular. But I want to start by offering congratulations to Dr. Michelle D. Cooley for your remarkably well-deserved and richly earned honorary doctorate. And of course, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, you have also earned a remarkable national recognition award, the Presidential Congressional Award of the Black Caucus. I don't know if I said that exactly correctly, but we've seen this in social media. And for those of us who know both of you, JC and Michelle, we know that you two are the epitome of what good role models are and what we need in this country more than ever. So congratulations and thank you for having me back.
Hey, thank you so much, Doc. Thank you. But it's the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award, yes, and it was conducted at the Congressional Black Caucus, and I tell you, Michelle and I had so much fun getting a chance to meet so many people, so many leaders, and especially the policymakers and lawmakers and senators and congressmen, and it was an absolute pleasure. But Doc, I want to start off by saying, how is the holidays treating you and your family? Are you all prepared for them already? Have you started doing your shopping? Had that beautiful wife of yours start, planning and getting all these things ready? So tell our viewers a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for asking. Yeah, Paula, my wife, and I have been listening to holiday music, especially me in my car, since November 5th, I think it was, when Sirius broke out its Christmas music lineup. We celebrate Hanukkah, but we love the Christmas season, and I listen to Christmas music in my car only. So if anyone ever gets in that car, that's all they hear. And we steep ourselves in the senses of the holiday, the smells, the look, the taste, you name it. And I've been doing that since Halloween with my pumpkins. My friends all make fun of it, but we relish, we savor this season for all of the good that it can bring and the kindness that people are showing more and more, because, as you know, that's what we need. Our population in this country has experienced an intense range of stress over the last few years, especially COVID pandemic, and now we have the other illness pandemic, racial injustice, political divisiveness. It covers everything. So the holidays, yeah, that's a time out for us to dive into what's good for us.
Wow. Before we even get started in this great topic that we're going to talk about, I want to let our listeners and viewers know, if you want to be part of this great conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments. You can ask this great doctor any question you want to. If you can ask it in the comments, I'll make sure that I put it up there and the whole world will be able to see it. And you can join this conversation, because I tell you, if you didn't grab your 3-4 bags of popcorn, you still got time. Yeah, right now, because we getting ready to bring it. So if you want to be part of this, just go to the comments and just ask the great doctor any question that you want to, or just say hello to Michelle and myself, and we're here. Hey, Doc, so as a cognitive behavior coach, what do you love about your profession? And wow, are there any challenges in it as well?
Wow, what a question. What do I love about what I do? Michelle sort of said it when she introduced me. I truly love. It's my passion. It's my commitment. I wake up every morning ready to dive into helping people live better, whether it's the wealthiest or the homeless. It doesn't matter. When I walk down the street and I bump into someone who's in a tent, I sit for a moment and chat and talk to them about the way they're thinking, and or the wealthiest celebrities or physicians. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. What I love is helping people find a way to think better, to think healthier, to lead lives with less misery, less stress, less tension, less burnout that we're all facing today. I love doing that, whether it's writing, speaking, being interviewed in the media, books, it doesn't matter. One-on-one coaching sessions. That's what I love. And you asked me another question. What was the second question you asked?
Sorry about that. I said, and the other question was, with the love of your profession, is there any challenges that you have to face?
Okay, yeah. I think that there are challenges. The stigma of anyone having an emotional issue today is so great. With so many, there was a study done that said 77, probably more, of employees are complaining of stress. Numbers of physicians who are burning out is well over 50%. 70% of adults say that they think the government doesn't care about them. And so wherever you look, people are in a hardship. And the challenge is helping people feel okay about saying, Dr. Mantell, can I call you for a session? Can we do a Zoom session? And not feeling guilty, ashamed, or they can't afford it, because money has never, ever been something that has stood between me and helping someone. It's just not the issue. The challenge that we face today in the mental health field is there's not enough of providers, people who can help. The funding is difficult, and the stigma is a killer. So those are the challenges. And that there's only just enough hours in the day to help people.
So, and you talk about stress management, and the title of the show today is Why Treat What We Can Prevent Stress Pre-Management. Can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit about that, why you chose that topic and why you think that's important to talk about today?
Well, as I say, America today is overwhelmed with stress. Wherever you look, you ask people, how you doing? They will say, oh man, I'm just stressed out. I'm anxious. The medication for mood disorders are increased. The Diagnostic Statistical Manual of the American Psychiatric Association when it first came out, from looking like this to now looking like this. Everything someone does has become a medical psychiatric disorder. You scratch your cheek, oh, you have cheek scratching disorder. It's just wrong. We have medicalized normal everyday reactions to the world out here. Inflation, employment issues, the illnesses that are floating around. And so the National Institute of Mental Health tells us that stress is our body's reaction to something that's happening around us. And no matter what it is, we have a physiological and psychological reaction. It's cutting into our ability to enjoy life. Why did I pick this topic? Because I don't know anybody who can't relate to feeling stressed out, burnt out, anxious, depressed, and especially at the holiday time of the year, when we're trying to buy gifts so we don't have the money. We're trying to meet all the needs of everyone and we don't take care of ourselves. We have illnesses, parties we want to go to, we can't go to. This is a topic that touches everyone in our country and indeed around the globe.
Wow. We're going to take a station break, but I want to pick it up where we just left off. And plus Joshua Goldsmith got a question for you when we get back. And this is a topic that touches everybody in the world. And I tell you what, if you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments and just ask this great doctor any question you want to. We're going to pick it up when we get back after the break. Remember, it's your life. We'll see you shortly after the break. Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I got, just like I was telling you in the beginning, one of my most favorite people in the world, and just so Michelle and I are just so thrilled and so happy every time we get a chance to get this young man on the show because he is so full of wisdom, understanding, knowledge, and focus, and we have to share him with our listening audience. So, but Doc. Yes, it's we were talking about pre-management stress, and I want to pick it up from there again. And then Joshua got a question. I don't know what he's really trying to say, but we're gonna ask him, what is your attitude and what is your advice and attitude toward vices? Not sure what that means. Uh, but I'm sure Josh is probably going to explain that a little better. So but I want to pick it up again with the pre-management stress.
Sure. Look, stress is something that ultimately I believe most people can prevent. Two people look at this. There's an expression. Two people look through the same prison bars. One sees the moon in the sky. The other sees dirt on the bars. So the fact is, the link is what you think. An event happens, there's traffic, and you can say, oh my gosh, this traffic is stressing me out. Or you can put on some music and relax and go with the flow. And I used to work at the CBS television here in San Diego many years ago. And I was driving down to the station to do a spot on this, and it was doing twice a week. And there was traffic. And I looked over to my left, and there was a guy pounding the dashboard, cursing, screaming. I guess you could say his vice was cursing and screaming, pounding. And I looked over to my right, and there was a young woman, and she was, the windows were up, but she was just rocking and rolling to the to the music she was listening to. And I realized I had a choice. This traffic isn't stressing you out. Get rid of the idea that she makes me anxious. He gets me stressed. It makes me feel this. None of that's true. We do that to ourselves. Yes, there are hardships. The whole life is always dodging the curveballs that fate throws at us. But we can choose to look at things in a healthier way. Now, I say most people, because some people have had such hardship, they can't. We have to help them. But for the rest, we can avoid, pre-manage, prevent. We can put a fence at the top of the hill instead of an ambulance at the bottom of the hill. So in terms of stress pre-management, I say, why treat something that you can prevent? We can put a fence up. You don't have to treat it at the bottom of the hill when someone's fallen. Let's give people some skills in this show that they can take away, nuggets they can use in a positive way. The word stress itself, if I can just go through real quickly, you tell me when to stop, JC. You're the doctor here. Stress, S, smile more every day, especially at the first 10 people you see. So for me, when I go to the gym in the morning, I hold the door for someone. Someone says, thank you. I say, hey, have a great day. And I smile. T, think rationally, accurately, logically, confidently, optimistically, and positively. Have hope. Hope. Have only positive expectations. That's thinking. The R in the word stress, relive the good with healthy relationships, the pleasant experiences in your life, relive the favorable accomplishments. The E in stress, that's eating healthy, eating well. The S at the end, sweat through regular exercise. And the last S is savor your life by choosing gratitude over anger. Lighten up, don't tighten up. Focus your thinking in healthy, mindful, factual ways. Don't predict horror. Someone's walking down the street, they don't smile. Don't assume that something's wrong with them and they hate you and you should go punch them out. Why don't you judge favorably? savor. Maybe they're having a bad day. Now, let me come back to Josh Goldsmith's question about vices. This is a G-rated show, so I'm not sure what you mean by vices, Joshua. But let me just answer. My vices might be to have, you asked about the holidays. I might have, and this is not a commercial, but one of my favorite stores, Trader Joe's here, sells pumpkin flavored beer. So I may have a glass of beer. That's a vice. I may stay up a little later to watch a show. That's a vice. I don't have nasty vices. I like living healthy. My hashtag is HAA, H-A-A, health above all. So I'll give you a chance to jump in here, Dr. Cooley, but I hope I answered Josh's questions.
Well, I'm sure Josh is listening, and if you didn't, he's going to respond. I mean, he's an extraordinary guy. He's a great guy, you know. So, but I kind of want to know what he was kind of asking as well. So, Josh, please clarify a little bit, and we'll get that up there. And hey, welcome back. Look, the other doc just showed up.
There she is.
I have a question for you, Dr. Mantell.
Yes.
So everyone handles stress in different ways. And I know this show is about, pre-management, where we don't have to get to that level. But let's say somebody is stressed, and we all have different ways to handle stress. My way is I need silence. I need to be by myself. You know what they call, quote unquote, me time? That's my way of handling stress and decompressing and kind of figuring out. Some people handle stress by maybe they want to be around a lot of people. They want a lot of activity. They want to handle noise. My point is, what are your thoughts on, and I know it comes from a good intention, someone telling another person how they should handle their stress. And like I said, one shoe does not fit all.
Right. Well, the word should is the thing that makes me cringe. And no one should on anyone else about anything else, because we're not in the other person's shoes. We're not in the other person's mind. We're not in the other person's life. And there is no one way. There's no one way. You like to be alone. This person likes box breathing, into the count of 3, holding to the count of 3, exhaling to the count of 3, waiting to the count of 3, and starting again. The next person likes the vices that Joshua was talking about. Another person likes to go to the gym and work out. That's me. Everybody has his or her approach. We don't have a right to tell anyone else how he or she should. When I do my coaching, I pull out from people what they believe works for them and help them apply it. I don't tell people what they ought to be doing or must be doing. One of the things that we do know is that when people have what people carry in their SAC, I love acronyms, SAC. Do you believe something should be different? A, that it's awful if it's not. And C, I can't stand it. SAC. If you look at life and you say it should be different, it's awful, and I can't stand it, of course you're building up stress in your life. So let's learn to live with acceptance of other people and the way other people live. Not liking it or approving it, but for me to dial down my stress, to be able to understand that events don't upset me. My beliefs about those events upset me. Only the end of the world is the end of the world. So if I want to feel better, I believe it starts with my thinking and changing what I think, asking myself questions about my thoughts. For example, is there evidence for what I believe? Is there evidence contrary to my belief? Am I attempting to interpret the situation without all the evidence? Can I give the benefit of the doubt? Challenge your thinking, because that's where stress begins. And then that will lead you to more functional, well-adjusted living.
Wow. Hey, Doc. So this might be, what is stressing people out so much? And is there a certain percentage of the population considered stressed out?
Well, American Psychological Association has done a study every year, in the World Health Organization, American other mental health associations have done studies, and they say that more than 50–60%, the APA says over 70%, 77% of employees are feeling stressed today. And that's why you see so many corporate well-being programs. But these well-being programs, you can have a day off. That doesn't do anything. That's like giving someone a lollipop and saying, here, this will make you feel better. It won't. I think if we really want to begin to help the world, we need to train physicians and teachers and others to ask the question, what are you thinking that's making you feel this way? Let's see if I can help you change the way you think. What voice are you hearing in your mind that's making you feel the way you feel? And people say, oh, it's not me, she's making me. But what are you thinking about what she's doing? Well, she shouldn't be doing this. This is awful. I can't take it. Do you mean you wish she wouldn't? Do you mean wish means what I sincerely hope? Is it awful, or is it just really bad? And you can't stand it. Seems to me like you've stood worse, and you can bear it. So telling yourself that it's the end of the world only makes it much worse, and it's not even true. So I think that if we begin to teach physicians, teachers, at the earliest times of talking to people, asking the simple question, so what have you been thinking about? How have you been thinking about things that are making you feel this way? It gives a window into the real powerful toolkit of changing the way you think. Now, there's a lot of other things that we can do, of course. You can say, look, I can only control what I can control. I don't have control of what you do. I'd like to go on talking for an hour and a half. I can't control that you only have another X amount of time left. I ask myself, whose child? I'm going to choose whose child I will be. What would Batman do in this situation? Some have Jesus. Some have Moses. It doesn't matter who you have, but have something bigger than you that you look up to. Stress is a mind, body, spirit issue. And have some morning and evening rituals. Plan for the day, reflect on the day, and practice the pause. The pause between bump, bada bump, 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 bump. No, wait a minute. How do I know it's bump, 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 bada bump, bump? Wonder what could be. Okay. And then you answer. There's so many ways to begin to cut down and bring equanimity, calm, balance to life. We'll keep talking about these things.
Wow, we're going to take a station break, but I just want to point out a couple of things. Gail Faulkner. It's so good to see.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, she's a superstar. Gail, hi, how are you, dear?
She is so wonderful. We've been working with Gail for quite some time. You already know, Doc.
Oh, yeah.
She is so wonderful. Lori Edwards Tate, how you doing out there, Lori? Looking forward to having you on the show next week. Looking forward to it. And Donna McCollum. Hey, Donna, hey, glad that you're listening to the show. Thank you so much. And I'll tell you what, listen on, we're going to take a station break. But we're going to come back. And we're going to continue our great discussion with my great friend, Dr. Michael R. Mantell. I'll tell you what, we bring him right back shortly after the break because we got a lot more that we want to talk about.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
Courage, valor, experience. The values that make veterans are the values that make veteran businesses America's #1 choice. Veteran business owners throughout the nation are ready to connect. OpsForVets.com. Handshakes, not handouts. Ops for Vets connects veterans with business opportunities. Here is a closer look at a featured veteran business. Every business listed is a verified veteran-owned business and can be found in the OpsForVets.com supplier directory.
Hello. Hey, I'm James Cooley. I am the founder and CEO of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, Options, Opportunities, Lasting Choice Program. Our primary mission is to help build a foundation of our youth and young adults and communities. And we encourage everyone to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. And the way that you do that is, first of all, you got to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that you are here for a purpose. You also have to be able to step out your comfort zone and do things that you probably didn't think that you can do. Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, just chatting with just a great doctor right here. I think we're getting a little static somewhere. I don't know where that's coming from, but it's absolutely fantastic. And Doctor, we mentioned Gail. I think you said that you worked with her when on your first show in San Diego.
Yeah, I believe it was a radio show. Gail will probably have a better recollection of it than I do, but it was a radio show, and I think it was a KSDO radio, and I brought psychology to the public through radio, and then through television, Good Morning America, and then KFMB in San Diego, and Fox News, and a whole bunch of other TV stations over these many years. And that's why I love doing this show with you and Michelle, because you are the quintessential pros in putting together this program. It's remarkable. So yeah, Gail, hello, and thank you for the move in the right direction.
Yeah, and not just that, but just like I mentioned earlier, Dr. Mantell, we work with Gail a lot on a lot of the guests that we get, and wow, and just a wonderful, wonderful person. So, hey, thank you again, Gail. Hey, Doc. So, I was thinking about just doing a break. What's the difference between stressed and burned? A lot of people say, I'm burnt out, I'm stressed out. What's the difference between? Is there a difference?
Yeah, there is a difference. Stress is not a disorder. It's not a diagnosis. With people who are stressed, you have over-engagement at work. You have people experience emotions very strongly. They're always in urgency. They're hyperactive. They may have fatigue, or they may have anxiety. There's a lot of physical consequences. Their heart rate, their breathing. Burnout, which we see a lot of in physicians, especially today, occurs due to continuous exposure to stress, leading to mental tiredness, not over-engagement, but disengagement, emotional blunting, or being cynical, feeling helpless or hopeless, chronically exhausted, detached. These are the doctors, particularly, I'm using them as an example, that are just saying, I don't have anything else to give. And as a result of burnout, we have patient care decreasing today. It's a dangerous thing for the physician, her or his family, and for the patients. Stress is something that, you know, students, high school, even elementary and junior high kids are saying, I'm stressed out. I can't do my homework. I can't concentrate. So yes, there's a difference between stress, over engagement, and burnout, which is like, I need to stay home in bed today.
Well, is there a certain age group or a certain population that is considered more stressed than others?
The younger, yes, the younger population seems to be more stressed lately than older populations. And research tells us that older folks, who I work with a great deal, seem to be having less stress than the those still in the workforce. I was just talking to someone yesterday who's 43, and he's just going on how he can't work and he can't concentrate, and he's got so much to do, and he doesn't have time to get to the gym, and he can't take care of his family. And he said, "How about you, Doc?" And I said, "Well, don't go by me, because I'm retired a bit. I'm still at it, but I have some control." There's another acronym when it comes to stress. It's not the nicest one, but it's NUTS. And what does NUTS stand for? NUTS stands for, number one, that there's not a lot of certainty. There's U is the uncertainty. T is a feeling of threat. And the S is a sense of control. And so I think that younger people feel more and more out of control because they have so much to do. Older populations, a little bit different. We're not feeling the stress in the same way. And I think the older folks, the older population has a bit of wisdom. We tend to look at things and we go like, you know what? Trust me, in a very short period of time, it won't matter. It won't matter. I have clients that love to say to me, "Hey, Doc, I keep thinking IWM, IWM, it won't matter." And it really helps me bring me back down to reality. So use it.
Wow. You know, I love these acronyms. I mean, I'm trying to remember all of them right now, but that's therefore once I finish the show, I'm gonna go back and watch this again. I'm gonna write them down. You know, hey Doc, is there a correlation between stress and depression?
There is. There certainly is. Stress leads to anxiety, and anxiety is a prediction of horror. It's turning everyday hassles in life into horrors. That's where we go from. I'm stressed about this. This week, I have so many presentations, media presentations. I'm flying out to New Orleans to give 7 talks and run a 3-day physician wellness studio for the American Society of Hematology. I started off by giving a talk on stress, actually, in my Optimal Living series that I give for organizations and companies. Tonight, I'm doing a class on psychoneuroimmunology to the Point Loma Nazarene University. Busy week. Stressed? Not at all, because I'm not predicting horror. In fact, I love doing all of this. So for me, there's no stress. But when we have stress that leads to anxiety and we keep experiencing that anxiety and it's chronic, it wears you down. And you begin to erroneously believe, I don't have it anymore. I don't have anything to give. I can't do it. I'm no good. Bingo, depression. That's how stress leads to depression.
This is such a wonderful topic. And just like we mentioned at the beginning, viewers out there, audience, listening audience, I think you need to be taking this in. I mean, Doc get called in. He's an expert with all of these lessons, and you got to get an opportunity to just get a sample of what he talk about, to the world. And I'm just so happy that you've taken the time on the James Cooley Show to come in and just share this great wealth of knowledge, Doc. Hey, Doc, is there a such thing as good stress?
Yeah, it's called eustress. EU, like euphoric, EU stress, as opposed to distress, DIS stress. So euphoric stress that's the stress that gets you going, that activates you. Now, I'm not going into the polyvagal theory here. That's for another time. But euphoric stress comes from what we look forward to, the holidays, if you have the right mindset, all the activities that we have in a given week that we have to do, presentations, clients, flying, making, connections. That's positive activation. Now, in the middle of all of this, we need to be aware, or what we call today mindful. So one of the techniques that I like to teach is the 5 senses technique. Do this with me. We're going to count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's what it's called, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. Here's how to do it. You close your eyes and you take a deep breath. Okay? In through your nose, you let it out through your mouth or through your nose. Next, take a look around with your eyes open and notice the details of your surroundings. See what's going on. Then count down from 5 using your senses. Name 5 things that you can see around you. Then 4 things that you can touch. Then 3 things you can hear. 2 things you can smell. And 1 thing you can taste. That's it. When you step out of your stressful mental narrative and you drop into your environment and sensations, you might be able to relax your mind and body. When you can stop for a moment and you identify how you feel in the absolute present, that helps people calm down, and it gives you a space to and grace for your body to regulate itself. That's the secret. How can I stay away from what's going to happen that I don't know, and just ask myself, am I okay now? Do I have a moment to tell you a quick story about that?
Absolutely, Doc. Absolutely.
Flying 35,000 feet in the air, and suddenly the pilot comes on quickly and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we are in trouble. One of our engines has gone out. Please, everyone sit down, pray, put your seatbelts on." Oh my God, people are screaming. There's a guy in the front row, seat 1 on the aisle, and he's having a cup of coffee and he's reading the magazine. He's calm as can be. And the plane drops 5,000 feet and people are screaming, heart attacks, dying. And he's in the front row having his coffee, turning the paper, and it goes out another and keeps going down and down and down. And he's just turning the paper, reading his, having coffee, calm as can be. 1,000 feet off the ground, the pilot says, "Ladies and gentlemen, we are in good shape. We're going to ascend and go back up." And the flight attendant opens the curtain. Everyone on the plane is dead except for the guy in the front row. And he's having his coffee and she runs over to him and she says, "I don't understand it, everyone." He said, "Well, I just kept telling myself, I'm okay right now. I'm okay right now. I'm okay right now. I'm okay right now." That's the key. Keep your head where your feet are. That prevents stress.
Wow. That was incredible, Doc. That was incredible. I tell you, I don't even want to take the break, but I got to. I got to take the break. I tell you what, when I come back, I want to talk about that a little bit more because that was such a fascinating story. So I tell you what, if you want to be part of this conversation, we're going to take a quick break right now, but you want to be part of this conversation. Once we get back from the break, just go to your comments and ask this great doctor any question you want to. Remember, it's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley. We'll be back shortly after the break. Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, I really enjoyed that story, and it was relevant because people do stress out, and long as we can stay calm, a lot of things, Doc, we can't change. If
Right.
we're in that situation, if the plane is going down or whatever the situation is, ain't nothing we can do but pray, else and stay calm as much as we can. But your story illustrated that a lot of people panic when there's really nothing you can do, and they let other things interfere with their thought process, and it cause them to react in a certain way. I want to pick it up from there, Doc, with that story. Can you go a little bit deeper into?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Gail Falkenthal asked the question about how the COVID pandemic changed the way we experience and manage stress. And I don't know that it changed the way. What I think it did was it brought it out. It pulled the curtain back on how all of us deal with stress and what stress is. We began predicting, I'm going to get this dread disease. It's going to kill me. I won't be able to be with my family when they're in the hospital and say goodbye to them, and they're going to die without me, or I'm going to die without them. We began making these predictions of horror. Again, the three thoughts that lead to stress: this shouldn't be this way. It's awful, and I can't stand it. I don't know that it changed it. I think it brought out the discussion in a more focused way. And I think we got to understand that, wait, you're thinking that too? So am I. Well, maybe we need to change the way we're thinking about this. I think that for many people, they weren't aware of how they were stressing themselves out. COVID doesn't cause stress. COVID causes a physiological disease, a respiratory and other aspects of our body disease. Stress is the way we think about and respond to the COVID situation. So that's the key there. I think that in terms of the story, that story really highlights it all. Here you predict the worst. These people died. And this guy kept saying, I'm fine now. And guess what? The plane came back. The folks who died because of stress, anxiety, chronic heart issues related to this, blood pressure issues, inflammation of the body, and so forth, not sleeping, not eating, not hydrating. What that did to people was cause death. But had they told themselves a different story, they'd be sitting in the plane having screamed, scared themselves, of course. Look, we have a difference between healthy and unhealthy negative feelings. A healthy negative feeling is to have fear when the plane's going down. An unhealthy feeling is to move from fear to dread and anxiety. And again, we should never be in a situation like that. But if any one of us is ever in a situation like that, the longer we can keep our minds in healthy negative situations, whether it's traffic or job, the boss calls you and, hey, we got some bad news, I got to talk to you, or the plane, whatever it may be, the longer we can continue to hold on to healthy negative emotions, the better off we'll be.
Wow. Dr. Mantell, we need another hour. We need a part 2 for this one. we got about 4 minutes left in the show. And I wanted you to talk about the difference between external and internal stress, especially when it comes to external events. Can we touch bases on that a little bit?
Sure. Well, I mean, external stress is stress that, when I go back to that traffic, finances, the way people think about the government, the political divisiveness, racism in our society, these are external causes of stress. However, the way I look at it is, these are golf tees. These are opportunities that the one above is presenting me with to say, let's see how you draw on the resources to deal with this in a healthy way. Internal stress is what I create inside of myself by the way I think about all those things. So that's the way I would define it. The external events are opportunities for me to learn and to grow. If I'm predicting horror and I'm predicting the end of the world and I'm rating myself as a loser who can't handle life, I'm creating internal stress.
Well, Doc, got a couple minutes, like I said. Can you explain to our viewers and our listeners 2 to 3 quick takeaways that they should get from this great talk and this great interview that we had?
1, events don't upset you, your beliefs do. 2, control what you can and accept, but don't approve, accept that life happens beyond your control. Unconditional acceptance is the greatest medicine you'll ever find outside of Pfizer and all these other companies. Unconditional acceptance. Don't be passive. Nobody recommends denial. Accept and then do something. Choose, and as I say, have some kind of rituals that you practice. The more time you spend in nature, the more physically active you are, the more you have social connections. I believe spirituality helps. Those are the nuggets that I would offer as takeaways.
Well, hey, Doc, okay, real quickly, how can people get in touch with you if they brought in as a client or whatever that might be? And also real quickly, if you can tell them where they can watch you at, because you're on TV all the time. You're doing a lot of things all the time, Doc.
So people can follow me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, Twitter. On Twitter, I'm Dr. San Diego or Fitness Psych. On LinkedIn, it's my name, Michael Mantell, and on Facebook, same thing. And I every day, every single day, I haven't missed a day, and I don't know how many years, I put up Mantell's points to ponder, 5 points to think about. And if someone wants to be in touch with me directly, please, you're not bothering me. I love to help people. Dr. Mantell, DrMantell at me.com. I'll get back to you almost instantly.
Well, Doc, as always, you got a standard invitation on the show. Looking forward to having you and Lori on next week again.
Yes.
And, so thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I got to thank my great executive producer, Dr. Michelle Cooley, who always put these great programs together. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our listening audience for tuning in to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. And I tell you, always to dream big, think big, and be big. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. It's your life. I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley.